You need to pay attention to this because more people will perish. All right, guys, so I'm going to beat this subject deader than a dead horse because it needs to be kept in the front part of your mind as we continue to go further and further into the future with more people passing away from aggressive cancers. Now, as of recent, there's been a lot of, as they put it, turbo cancers popping up all over the world, but especially here in the United States and especially in the UK. A lot of doctors are starting to notice a bad trend. Now, there are some doctors that are noticing this and trying to sound the alarm, and they're being stifled or railroaded into warning the public about what's going on. But there are also people like you and I and regular people who are not a part of the conspiracy theory world that are now looking and going, something isn't right. There are people who go into the doctors, they're getting diagnosed stage 4 aggressive cancers. In a lot of cases, people are too far gone as far as treatments go to even have anything done. So as a lot of doctors are noticing this and they're trying to speak about this, the public, the masses, a lot are still asleep to it. And even those now who are diving deep into this, they're like, shit, what are we going to do? Now, a lot of people who have come down with this aggressive form of cancer have taken the arm ticket. But I'm also hearing that there are people who didn't that are still coming down with aggressive form of cancer, and that could be because of Mr. 19, COVID. They are stating now that Mr. 19 might be the cause for this cancer uprise, which is absolute bullshit, because everybody I know who has Mr. C, cancer, an aggressive one at that, has taken the arm ticket. I don't know anybody who has not taken it, the arm ticket, that came down with any kind of weird disease and or Mr. C's. I'm going to do a separate video on fenbendazole. Right now, we're going to call that Fenby, because I don't know if they're going to look back at this later and be like, oh, he was X, Y, and Z, or he talked about this medical, misinfo kind of nonsense. So we're going to call ivermectin. We're going to call ivermectin IV, and we're going to call fenbendazole Fenby. All right. So now, there is hope with these two drugs, if you will. We're going to get into what the hope is a little later. But I need to stress, guys, the amount of people that are getting sick. There are people who are having no symptoms to being symptom almost overnight, to finding out that they have a metastasized situation going on in their body with Mr. C, cancer. It's unreal. We've never seen anything like this a few years ago. Now, within the last 2-3 years, probably, I would say 2 to 3 years, maybe 4, we're seeing an aggressive style of cancer. And in a lot of celebrities. There's celebrities that are just finding out, and before they can even do anything about it or get a treatment, boom, stage 4 hits them right in the face. There are women, breast cancer is through the roof. So is pancreatic. And though breast cancer was said about 10 years ago, going to be out of control over the next 20, 30 years. And that, again, that was 10 years ago, so that was around 2015. We are in 2025. They said that it was going to get worse on its own, but with the arm ticket being introduced, it made it a whole hell of a lot worse. Now, guys, they're also finding out that there are cancers that are not reacting to chemo, like at all. Not being shrunken down, it's just so aggressive. Even that's not working. Hormone therapy is not working. But if you take Fenby or fenbendazole, if you take that, there is promising results with it. I can't go into stating the obvious, but nonetheless, there says it's promising results. If you mix the two, if you mix IV and Fenby together as part of your treatment with either chemo or hormonal treatments, there is positive results with it. Mel Gibson mentioned 3 of his friends that came down with aggressive Mr. C's. 3 of them. They all started taking Fenby, and all 3 of them are now cured. Dr. John Campbell stated that there is promising studies coming out about it, but they need to do trial studies, actual studies that no one, he states, wants to do because it costs too much money, which that's not what it is. $20 million to do a study is not costing too much money. Matter of fact, we probably spent more than that in transgender ideologies, comic books, and things of that nature around the world, but we can't do a promising study for $20 million? Anyway, that being said, those two, Ivy and fenbendazole, and then methylene blue, which is another one I'm hearing. And methylene blue used to be a textile dye that obviously was put in clothing. And they're finding positive results with that as well. So all of these things, guys, that are out there, and by the way, Fenb is not cleared for human use, at least not here in the United States and not in the UK. Other parts of the world it is, but it's also a dewormer, so you can get it at certain pet stores. Not all pet stores, but you can get it at certain pet stores. So same thing with ivermectin. Ivermectin, if I'm not mistaken, I think you can request that from your doctor. Needless to say, they're finding good promises with both of those drugs. Now, I put this out here with the, hopefully, you know, I don't get like in too much trouble, but it has to be out there. And I'm going to put this video on Rumble as well because it needs to be seen. Because there are a lot of people, guys, that are coming down with cancers and they're going the old-fashioned treatment, which, again, chemo has not, has worked for a lot of people, but it hasn't worked for a lot of people as well. But the promising effect of fenbendazole on people is out of control. So far, right now, with the studies that are being done, they're called anecdotal studies, meaning it's more of an experience than it is a factual finding. So you have to sit there, if you pass this around, say that it's anecdotal studies that are being done. And that is just them observing people taking this and going, holy shit, they got better. Oh man, they got better. Instead of actually doing a real study where they test the blood, they test the body, they do the weights, they follow them and what they're doing. A lot of these people, in fact, have different diets that they're doing to mitigate the cancer on its own. Never mind, they introduce this to the body and then they see something big happen to them, which is a good thing, a good big that's happening to them. So again, guys, if there's any video that you ever share, try to share this, do your own research. I was doing my research on this. I have another video coming out strictly about fenbendazole and the anecdotal studies that were done, or rather the studies that were done. And we're going to talk about one specific case where the lady was pretty much written off. Her diagnosis was bad. She only had a few months, according to what I read about her, only a few months, and she beat the entire thing. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.